Good morning, viewer. Welcome to our Fosak TV USA. Here is the breaking news from Jerusalem. Jerusalem, holy site, classes fuel fears of return to war. Waving or wearing Israeli flags, hundreds of right-wing nationalist marchers shouted angrily by the wall of Jerusalem's old city as Israeli police blocked them from heading to the main gate to the Muslim quarter. As we waited to see exactly what would happen, so was Israel's Prime Minister, a right wing nationalist himself. Some of those who were once supported Naftali Bennett, but not anymore. Angry chants on Wednesday told him, "Go home." We came here because it is Passover holiday to show that this city is ours, that it belongs to the nation of Israel, said Matan, gripping you the hand of smallest child. This is our city, our capital, our country. The prevailing feeling was that as the leader of an ideologically diverse coalition which includes an Arab Islamist party, Mr. Bennett has sold out and failed to deal effectively with recent tensions in Jerusalem. A prominent banner declared his rival, the opposition leader Benjamin Netanyahu, to be king, and there were big cheers for far-right politician Itamar Ben-Gvir. He told me that Mr. Bennett was being held back from doing the correct thing by his fragile government, which recently lost its parliamentary majority after one of his own MPs quit, saying she could not be part of it anymore. It is not our Prime Minister's order, it is the power of the coalition, Matan said. Naftali Bennett was ordered not to allow Jews onto the Temple Mount, he added, referring to a contested holy site in Jerusalem that is known to Muslims as Haram al-Sharif and is the location of the Al-Aqsa mosque. They gave him instruction to free 400 terrorists who threw stones. Israel's unusual coalition government rose in the wake of last year's 11-day conflict with Palestinian militants in the Gaza Strip. Now the danger is that it could be pushed to collapse by a smaller set of events. Concerted efforts to plan for heightened tensions exacerbated by religious holidays coming together have failed to stop a new escalation in violence. Last Friday saw hours of classes in the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound just after dawn prayers. Video clips on social media that circulated across the Arab world raised anger. Israeli police sent up clouds of tear gas, threw stun grenades and hit people with batons. They said they acted to stop masked rioters, some of whom had thrown fireworks and stones towards the adjacent Western Wall, the holiest place where Jews are allowed to pray. Later, officers could be seen inside the mosque with Palestinians lying on the ground as they were arrested. Several hundred people were detained, most of whom were later released. More than 150 were injured. I think the Israelis are trying to start a war instead of pushing for peace, said Mohammad Quas from Bathir in the occupied West Bank, who has been heading into Jerusalem for Friday prayers during the Islamic holy month of Ramadan. It is really driving everyone crazy. When you don't feel safe to pray, that's the worst thing you can think of. Adding to the tension at Al-Aqsa Mosque is the idea that there could be changes to long-standing status quo arrangement. Israel denies that is the case. Palestinian Muslims fear that the complex will be partitioned to make a space for Jewish prayer. Rumors repeatedly circulated during the Passover holiday that Jews would return to the practice of sacrificing goats at the site, as they did in biblical times before the Romanians destroyed their temples here. An extremist Jewish group had put up a Facebook post offering 10,000 shekels to anyone who carried out such an act, and Israeli police arrested several people on suspicion of planning a sacrifice after a goat was found in one of their homes. On successive morning this week, there were renewed classes at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound as heavily armed police tried to clear the courtyard of Muslim worshippers to make way for hundreds of Jewish visitors, many of whom arrived before airport to avoid discrediting the site. Behind the report for TV USA.